Welcome back to Radiantly Rooted with Rachel. I am a yoga teacher, a CBT trained life coach, and I have been very mindfully and intentionally building a life and a practice that actually feels like mine. And those are the practices and the processes that I want to share with you. So today's episode might feel a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the chakras. And I know that chakras might land in different ways for you. Some of us have practiced with them in the past, some haven't, and some might even find the word a little woo. And that's totally fine. The practice is here to meet you where you are. I'm not here to convince you of anything mystical or woo. Instead, I'm here to introduce you to one of the most practical frameworks that I have ever worked with. There's a feeling that a lot of women carry that's hard to put into words. It's not anxiety exactly, it's not depression exactly, but it's this sense that something's off, something's not right. Our life looks fine on paper, the job's okay, the relationships are okay. So why does it feel like this? Why does it feel like we're missing something, like something's off? Like maybe we can't find ourselves in the middle of our own life, this life that we've built. My hope is that by the end of today, you're going to have a language for that feeling, words to give it a name. You'll have a framework for figuring out exactly what is out of balance in your life, why something feels off, and you'll know what questions to ask yourself instead of walking around with that vague sense that something's wrong. And I'm going to give you a free tool at the end that makes it personal to your life right now. With this, vague becomes specific, and specific is something that you can actually work with. And so let's talk about what the chakras actually are. There are 7 main chakras. These are energy centers, thought of as wheels, discs, or vortices. They are running along the spine from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. And chakra is a Sanskrit word for wheel or disc. Each chakra governs a different aspect of the human experience. And so this is really useful because every chakra has a balanced state and an out of balance state. And there are specific signs or symptoms when it's out of balance. Now, when it's out of balance, it could be either blocked or overactive. And so instead of something feels wrong, but I don't know what, you can actually locate it in the body. It's kind of like a compass, a way of paying attention that's actually specific. And for the skeptics out there, don't worry, you don't have to believe in any of this metaphorically for it to work. You can think of the chakras as energy centers, or maybe just a useful metaphor for the layers of being human. Either way, the framework still gives you the map. So stay with me here. The teaching meets you where you are. So I'm going to walk you through the 7 primary chakras, and we're just going to do an overview. So just listen in and notice which ones make you nod, which ones might make you see yourself in them a little bit. We'll come back to that. And so the root chakra at the base of the spine, the root of the whole system. This chakra is associated with the color red, and it governs safety and belonging, survival, the ground under your feet. When it's balanced, we feel grounded and stable. Our basic needs are taken care of. There's not that like low-level threat hum in the nervous system, like that low-level stress and anxiety that so many of us carry with us through our day-to-day. But when it's out of balance, we might feel like we're anxious for no real reason, restless, like we can't fully land, or maybe stuck and heavy, like we're stagnant. And it's really common for this to feel out of balance in women who have been operating in survival mode for so long that they've forgotten what real safety feels like. All right, the sacral chakra, Svadhisthasana in Sanskrit. This is associated with the color orange, and it's located just below the belly button. It governs our sense of feeling, pleasure, creativity, inner knowing, the body level yes and no. So when this chakra, when this energy center is balanced, we feel like we're in touch with what we want. We feel deeply without being overwhelmed by our feelings, and we give ourselves permission to enjoy life. If this chakra is out of balance, we might feel a sense of numbness, kind of like we're disconnected from our desires, like we're going through the motions and then wondering why nothing really feels good. Or we might be overwhelmed and emotionally flooded. This one can be a really big one for the women who have overridden their feelings to keep showing up for everybody else. And then moving on up, the solar plexus chakra, Manipura, it's just above the belly button in the area of your solar plexus. It's associated with the color yellow, and the element of this one is fire. It governs our sense of personal power, self, confidence, and our capacity to act on our own behalf. So when this chakra is balanced, we might feel more capable, confident, like we can make decisions without spiraling into overthinking. We can say no without having to over explain why. If it's out of balance, we might be in overdrive where we're burning out trying to earn our worth. We're pushing and proving. Or it might be the opposite. It might be collapsed where we feel powerless, like we can't even act on our own behalf at all. And I see this one a lot in high achieving women. It's that fire that turned against itself, burning instead of warming. The heart chakra, the bridge between the three lower chakras and the three upper chakras, anahata. It is most commonly associated with the color green, but you might see it associated with pink as well. And it's located in the center of your chest at your heart space. It governs love and compassion, our relationships, worthiness, our sense of worthiness, and the capacity to give and receive love without losing ourselves. So if it's balanced, you feel connected to yourself, to others. You can be tender without being naive, and you can love without abandoning yourself. Now, if it's out of balance, again, two sides here, right? You might be closed off, like you're overly defensive and hard to reach, or you're overgiving, pouring yourself out for everybody else, but then ending up like you're feeling empty. And most of us have done both of these, if we're honest, depending on the season, right? I know I have. All right, crossing the bridge, the throat chakra, the Shuddha. This is blue, located in the center of the throat. And this one governs our voice, our authentic expression, our ability to speak what's true without softening it. And I'm not talking about bluntness to the point of being rude or mean, but speaking our truth with a gentle understanding, with compassion, our ability to communicate clearly. So when it's balanced, we can name what we feel, say what we mean, speak up in rooms where it matters. How often have we quieted our voice when really we had something to say? And also to not speak if silence is the truer option. So when it's out of balance, we tend to swallow what's true. We say yes when we mean no, or vice versa. We soften our opinions, our thoughts, until they become unrecognizable, right? And you might feel invisible in conversations that you're actually a part of. And so this one, if you've spent years keeping the peace, this one might be calling out for a little extra support. The third eye, Ajna, it's indigo. It's located in the center of the forehead by your third eye, the space between the eyebrows. This one, our intuition, that inner voice, your inner knowing, the quiet sense of what's true that shows up before the rational mind argues with it, before the rational mind demands evidence. And so when the third eye is balanced, you might trust what you sense. You can tell fear from real knowing, and you stop second guessing every gut feeling. If it's out of balance, you might ask 5 people what you should do before you ask yourself. You need outside proof before you act. You might find that the answer felt more clear until you started thinking it through and second guessing it and overanalyzing it. Analysis paralysis. And so, if that one made you wince, you are not alone. I have been there, my friend. Our culture, our society doesn't teach women to trust their own inner knowing. We're taught to override that inner knowing, right? And then finally, making our way up to the crown of the head, Sahasrara. This is violet, also associated with the color white, and it's located at the top of the head. This chakra governs our connection to something larger than ourselves, to our sense of wholeness, to our recognition that we are already whole beneath everything else. We are enough. And so when it's balanced, we feel held by something bigger than your individual life. You can think of this as connection to the divine, whatever you might consider that to be, source, universe. The certainty that you belong here, that we're not separate, that nothing is fundamentally missing within you. And so when it's out of balance, you keep searching for an answer you can never find. No matter how successful you are, your achievements don't ever feel like they belong to you. there's this voice inside saying, no, this still isn't it. This still isn't it, no matter what you accomplish. This one, to be honest, it can be a sneaky one, right? A lot of really accomplished women carry this and they've never had a language for it. So let's take a breath. Go ahead and inhale and let it go. That was a lot, right? 7 chakras, 7 energy centers, all of them likely in different levels of balance and imbalance. And so I'd love to share in the comments if you feel inspired, which one or two felt the most alive for you as I was talking. Were there any that you felt like, whoa, I feel really connected to that? I feel really lit up by that. Were there any where you saw the imbalance within yourself? Were there any that made you nod or wince a little bit? Is there one that you're still thinking about? And so again, drop a comment. I'd love to hear what's going on for you. Or just sit with whatever came up for you. Either way is totally fine. And so the reality is most of us don't have all 7 chakras in balance or out of balance all at the same time. Normally, there's one or two that are really calling for your energy and your attention, and the others are doing just fine for right now. Now, one thing that I want to note is that these chakras, these energy centers, they don't operate in a silo. They are all interconnected. They're all related. And so it's hard to connect to your intuition, your inner voice, your inner knowing, if your root chakra is out of balance, if you feel a sense of instability or not feeling safe, or that constant hum of low level anxiety, right? If your heart chakra is out of balance, if you are feeling disconnected, it can be really hard to speak your truth in a group setting in connection with others. And so these chakras, they all work together. But what I want to remind you now is that, at the beginning of the episode, I told you my intention was to help you walk away with some language for what you've been carrying. And so now you have it, that framework, the names, the recognition that one or two of these energy centers might be asking for a little bit more of your support, energy, and attention right now. And again, it's not about trying to work on all 7 at the same time. That would be overwhelming. It's about tending to the one or the two that might be calling out the most right now. And don't worry, this is not another self-improvement project, not another thing to be wrong or right about or add to your to-do list. But it's a way of paying attention to what your life is actually telling you. So feel free to listen to this again. I know we went through the chakras really fast. This is a very high level overview. You could spend a lifetime studying the chakras. But if you are curious about which of your chakras is calling out for your attention, I built a quiz for exactly this. It's a chakra balance quiz. And you can find it at rachelhupp.com/chakra-quiz. And the link will be down below in the show notes. It's 21 questions. It takes about 5 minutes or less. And at the end, it's going to tell you exactly which 2 or 3 chakras are the most out of balance for you right now. It's also going to give you a snapshot of where you are against all of the chakras. But the really cool thing about it is that it's got some simple practices you can start implementing right away to start tending to those specific energy centers that need a little extra support. You can do it today. And so again, check out the link below. It's totally free. You can check out my chakra quiz. And I'd love to hear how it lands, how it resonates for you, because the beta testers loved it. Everybody said it was right on, spot on. And some people even said that, these areas, they already knew that they needed some extra support and attention, but this gave them practical ways to start working on them. And so I also got some exciting news because something fun and life-changing is coming up so soon. I have spent the past couple of years building a program called Radiantly Rooted. It is the deeper version of what we just walked through, the culmination of my 30 years of practice of building a life that feels like mine from the inside out. And so every chakra, we're going to go into it in more depth. We'll talk about yoga and breath work and philosophy, journaling and lifestyle shifts. The door's open May 18th, just a few weeks from now. And so if what we talked about today resonates, this program is built for you. I would love for you to join the waitlist now. The link's going to be down in the show notes, and you'll also find it on your quiz results page. So you'll have it there too. And even if Radiantly Rooted isn't for you, take the quiz. Use the framework and tend what's asking for your love and your support and your attention. And so thank you for being here. Truly, it means the world to me. Take the chakra quiz, sit with what comes up, and just be honest. Nobody's going to see it but you. Be honest about which centers are asking for your attention and then tend to them gently. That's the work. And that's always the work, just about finding a little bit more alignment, one step at a time. And if this resonated, if this felt supportive for you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend who's been maybe feeling a little bit off themselves, because this framework helps. I'll be back next week. Until then, take care of yourself and tend what needs tending.
Thanks for listening to Radiantly Rooted with Rachel. If this episode brought you a little more clarity, grounding, or inspiration, I'd love it if you shared it with a friend or left a quick review. It really helps more women find this space and feel supported on their own paths. And if you are craving more soulful support, head on over to rachelhupp.com to join my email list. That's where I send free resources, gentle guidance, and invitations to go deeper. Until next time, trust yourself and root in to what matters. Because the life you want, it starts by coming back home to you.